Today, we're talking about listen then speak in the Duolingo English Test. Now, my students always tell me this is one of the hardest questions on the DET. So, something I always do with my students is give them lots of practice questions and give them high-level sample answers. So, that's what we're doing in this video. I'm going to give you 5 practice questions and I'll give you a sample answer, a high-level sample answer for each question. Okay? Sound good? Let's get started. Hello, I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Before we go to those practice questions, let's quickly review what Listen Then Speak is all about. So it's pretty simple. You'll see this instruction on the screen and you'll hear a question being played automatically. Now you'll hear it once and then you have the choice to listen 2 more times, so 3 times in total. You have 20 seconds for that altogether. In that 20 seconds, you're also thinking, what can I talk about? And then you have 90 seconds to answer the question and you should speak for as long as you can. Now there are 2 listen then speak tasks in the DET and they count towards your conversation and production subscores. So let me give you 4 tips for how you can answer these questions well. Tip 1 is to use your study time. Use that 20 seconds. Listen carefully and think, what is the main topic of this question? And what is the specific aspect, the thing that they want you to do? What is the instruction that they're giving you? Tip 2 is only include relevant information. So not information about everything else, what you ate for dinner yesterday. Stay focused on the question. Tip 3 is to give examples. These will support your answer and they help you to add lots of detail and talk for longer. And tip 4, if you can, is to include a short conclusion at the end. And in that conclusion, you could mention the main topic of the question again and mention your main points again. And a conclusion is also good if you want to extend your answer, if you want to add a few more sentences to fill more of that 90 seconds. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future DET practice videos and vocabulary videos and all of the other videos that we release. Okay, that's all of the advice that I'm going to give you for now. We're going to start with our practice questions. Each one we're going to do in exam conditions. What does that mean? It means that I will give you the exact time and the exact information that you would have in the real DET. So I'll play you an audio of the question. You'll hear it 3 times. You'll have 20 seconds and then your time will start. And I want you to actually speak. I want you to try to give the best answer that you can. Okay? 90 seconds. Then after that, I'll come back and I'll take you through my high-level answer, okay? And we'll go sentence by sentence and you can practice speaking my answer. All right, but first, it's your turn. So you're going to hear the question 3 times and then you're going to speak. Your time starts now. Describe a time when you tried out a hobby you didn't enjoy. What made you feel it wasn't for you? Describe a time when you tried out a hobby you didn't enjoy. What made you feel it wasn't for you? Describe a time when you tried out a hobby you didn't enjoy. What made you feel it wasn't for you? Okay, welcome back. That was your first try, so I hope it wasn't too intense. The question was here. It's all about a hobby that you tried and you didn't enjoy it, and we're saying, like, why was it not for you? Let's go through my answer now, and I'm going to read this sentence by sentence. After each sentence, I will pause, and you can stop the video and you can try to read it the way that I read it. So try to copy the way that I'm reading. You'll notice that in my answer, some of the words we put a stress, we emphasize those words. Those are important words. And other words we're going to say blah, like a little bit quickly, because they're not such important words. So you'll be able to see them in my answer, and I want you to try to copy that. The more that you can copy me, and try to do it many times, also try to save this video so you can come back and keep practicing in the future. But the more that you can practice, the more natural your English will be. Okay, so let's get started. A few years ago, I decided to try out pottery after a friend recommended it as a relaxing and creative hobby. So, I'm going to pause, I'm going to look at you, you're going to have a try at reading. Good. At first, I was intrigued by the idea of making something with my hands, especially after seeing some really gorgeous ceramics on social media. However, once I started attending classes, I quickly realized it wasn't for me. Very good. Let's go to the next part. So, to begin with, I found the process surprisingly stressful. Rather than feeling calm, I was constantly worried about ruining the shape or having a part fall off. On top of that, despite the instructor's encouragement, I struggled to master even the most basic techniques, which left me feeling frustrated, not at all fulfilled. Okay, and then the next part. Although I do appreciate the skill involved and admire those who enjoy it, I much prefer hobbies that offer more immediate results and clearer structure, such as creative writing. In the end, while I'm glad I gave it a go, the experience confirmed that pottery just doesn't fit in at all with my personality or interests. Okay, very good. By the way, if you are preparing for the DET and you want to make sure you get the best score possible, you should check out our DET preparation course. It's got everything you need to get a really, really good score. Hundreds of people are in that course already, and I want you to come and join us. All right? Find the link down here. So that's question 1 all done. Let's move straight to question 2. Same again. You'll hear the audio 3 times, and then you're going to speak. All right, let's begin now. Talk about a country you'd really like to visit. Say why you find it so appealing and how likely it is you think you'll get a chance to go. Talk about a country you'd really like to visit. Say why you find it so appealing and how likely it is you think you'll get a chance to go. Okay, welcome back. So let's go through my answer then. So we're going to start with the first sentence, and again, I'll pause and you can try reading it after me. Let's begin. One country I'd really like to visit is Japan. I've always been fascinated by its culture, especially the mix of ancient tradition and cutting-edge technology. On one hand, you've got peaceful temples, tea ceremonies, and historic towns like Kyoto. On the other hand, there's Tokyo, with its neon lights, bullet trains, and crazy gadgets. That's a long one. Have a try at that. Very good. Another reason I'd love to go is the food. I mean, I've tried sushi and ramen here at home, but I imagine it's just on a different level over there. Also, I'm really interested in Japanese design and architecture, so visiting places like the 21st Century Museum would be a dream. Okay, very good. As for how likely it is, I'd say fairly likely. It's not a cheap trip, but I'm saving up, and if everything goes to plan, I'll probably be able to go in the next couple of years. Okay, very good job. Now, one important thing to notice about this answer is that we've got really good linking words. So those are words that connect different ideas and make our answer very organized. So we've got things like on one hand, another reason is, and as for. And they really connect the answer and make it much more logical. So that's a good thing for you to include. Okay, question 2 is done. Let's move straight to question 3. Same again. You'll hear the question, you're going to answer, and then we'll look at my answer together. So let's begin now. Talk about an issue that affects your neighborhood. Say what could be done to make things better. Talk about an issue that affects your neighborhood. Say what could be done to make things better. Talk about an issue that affects your neighborhood. Say what could be done to make things better. Okay, welcome back. So this one was problems in your local area, your neighborhood, and how can we make it better? Let's take a look at the answer. So, one issue that really affects my neighborhood is pollution, especially from traffic and plastic waste. Your turn. Good. We're quite close to the main motorway, so the emissions from cars and delivery vans can get pretty bad, especially during rush hour. It's not just the air quality either. There's also a problem with rubbish, particularly microplastics, which end up in the park and even the local stream. Very good. To make things better, I think the council could focus more on sustainability. That's a tough word. Let's say that one again. Sustainability. Sustainability. Very good. For example, they could improve public transport so fewer people need to drive, or add more cycling lanes. As for the microplastics, they could introduce stricter rules on packaging and encourage people to use reusable containers when they shop. Very good. It might not fix everything overnight, but even small steps could make a big difference to the environment and people's health. In conclusion, I'd say that environmental issues are too easy for people to ignore. I'd like to see them taken more seriously so that my neighborhood continues to be a thriving community for years to come. That's a difficult last sentence. Good job if you had a try at that one. So that was a very good answer because of many things, but in particular, it had some nice vocabulary. So we said emissions, sustainability, microplastics. Those are very specific words related to the environment. And including these high-level words is something you can think about in your 20-second preparation. So, for example, if you think, okay, the problem I'm going to talk about is the environment, you can think, what high-level words do I know about the environment? What can I put in there? Okay, so that's part of your planning. Now we're already more than halfway through our questions. We've got 2 more to go. If you're starting to feel maybe a little bit tired, then that's very understandable. What you can also do is to save this video so that you can come back and try these questions again and again, and try practicing with me, practicing my answers again and again. The more that you practice, the better you're going to get, the more natural your English will sound, everything will be improving. So save that, and while you're saving, you could also like and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's move to question 4. Same again. Hear it 3 times, answer, and then we go through my answer together. Let's begin. Talk about a part-time job that would be suitable for a teenager. Say why you think it'd be an especially good role for a young person. Talk about a part-time job that would be suitable for a teenager. Say why you think it'd be an especially good role for a young person. Okay, you'll notice that every one of these questions is very different. This one is about young people and jobs, totally different to the last question. So it's good to practice with these so that you're totally comfortable answering any different topic. All right, so let's go through my answer. And again, I'll read a sentence, I'll pause, you can stop the video, and you can try and say it yourself. So let's begin. I'd say a really suitable part-time job for a teenager would be working in a local cafe or coffee shop. It's a role that teaches really useful skills, like how to deal with customers, manage your time, and work as part of a team. Plus, cafes are usually quite sociable places, so it can be a good way to build confidence and make new connections. Very good. Another reason it's ideal is because the hours are often flexible, so it can be made to fit in around schoolwork. Not only that, but being on your feet and staying busy can be a nice change from sitting in a classroom all day. Speaking personally, if I hadn't worked in my local cafeteria as a teenager, I definitely wouldn't have the confidence I do now when it comes to talking to people. I think the role is especially good for a young person because it's not just about earning money, it's also about learning to be responsible and gaining some independence. Okay, and the last sentence. It's things like that which can really help later on, whatever career path they choose. Okay, very good. Now, of course, this answer has lots of good things. It has good vocabulary, it's focused, it's organized, but it also has some really good grammar. And there are 3 things that it does very well. So it has the passive voice, it also has mixed conditionals, and it has cleft sentences. Now, don't worry too much about what all of those mean exactly. If you want to know more, we cover them all in our Advanced English Grammar course. But for now, you just need to know that they are high-level grammar. And those are really useful things to include. You don't have to make every sentence high-level grammar, but just 1 or 2 more complex sentences can really help your score. All right, we're almost at the end. We've got 1 more question to answer. So it's the same again, and I'll be waiting for you with my answer on the other side. Here we go. Talk about a goal or objectives you're determined to achieve one day. Say why you'd like to accomplish it and mention any steps you plan to take. Talk about a goal or objectives you're determined to achieve one day. Say why you'd like to accomplish it and mention any steps you plan to take. Okay, very good. So this is all about a goal. And something to think about when you're choosing your answer is if it's something quite open, like a goal, you can choose in a smart way what you're going to talk about. For example, if you know a lot about, let's say, living in another country, you know some good vocabulary about that, you could choose that to be your goal. Or if you know about maybe about business or about sport or about like computers or whatever, building robots, going to the moon, whatever you know more about and you can bring some high-level vocabulary, you can choose that as your topic to talk about. You kind of bring the question towards you, and that means that you have a better chance of showing your best English. Now, my answer is going to be about writing a novel, okay? But yours could be about something totally different. So let's go through my answer then. The first sentence for us to focus on. One goal I'm really determined to achieve one day is to write a novel. Over to you. I've always loved storytelling, and the idea of creating a whole world with characters, plot twists, and themes really appeals to me. It's something I've dreamed of doing since I was a teenager, and the ambition has never really left me. The main reason I'd like to accomplish it is because I feel a desire to express myself creatively and hopefully connect with other people through my writing. In terms of steps, I've started keeping a notebook of ideas, and I'm trying to get into the habit of writing a little each day. I'm also planning to take an online course to improve my skills and learn more about structuring a story and creating a compelling narrative. And then the last part. In a nutshell then, it's not an easy goal, but it's something that really matters to me. My writing is a part of who I am, so I feel I ought to follow through with my goal. And just one final thought, even if it takes me years to achieve success, I'm not giving up. Okay, very good. And something to notice about this last answer is the conclusion part. So we've got a really nice conclusion sentence or phrase, which is in a nutshell. And that just means in conclusion, but it's a more unusual phrase, so it's better for your score. And we also add a final thought, just one final thought. That's a nice way to make our answer longer, to extend the answer so that we can fill the full 90 seconds. So there we go, 5 listen then speak questions and our high-level sample answers. If you found this video useful, please make sure to like and subscribe. And as I told you before, I suggest saving the video as well so that you can come back and continue to practice these answers. The more you practice, the better you'll be. Remember as well, if you are preparing for DET and you want to make sure you get a really high score the first time you take the test, check out our DET Complete Preparation course. There are hundreds of students right now taking that course. They're all really improving their score, and I want you to come and join them. So check the link just here under the video. Now, as I mentioned before, I've got a question for you. Which of these 5 practice questions was the most difficult for you? Okay, so if you just want to write the number, maybe number 3 was most difficult, write number 3 in the comments down here. I'm very interested to know which one you found the hardest. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Good luck in your DET. I'll see you next time.